So as you guys can see right here, there's an outlet sign on the battery which indicates that the MacBook is using the power adapter to consume its power. It's not using the battery because obviously the battery is not good and it needs to be replaced. As soon as I unplug the charger port, the Mac goes dead. It goes off and it's super annoying, especially you're buying a MacBook and you want it to be mobile. You want to use it in different locations. You don't want it to be hooked up in a power outlet all the time. So as you guys can see, I'm pointing out to the screws, and Apple uses their own proprietary screws. I'm gonna leave a link in the description below so you can buy the batteries and replace them yourself at home and save $200 from the Apple Store. I went to the Apple Store to replace the batteries and they said that it would cost me $250. It's insane. The price is insane. The price of these batteries is around $80 on Amazon, and the labor, obviously you're gonna change them yourself, so you're gonna save so much money doing that. So I'm just gonna take off these screws. I'm gonna speed up the track a little bit so you guys don't get bored, and we will be back at it. So as you guys can see, I'm struggling a little bit taking this back cover off. So I use this CVS card to pry it off a little bit. You can use anything to pry it off. I would advise you to use any plastic piece because you don't want to use any metal on metal parts. So you don't want to use a flathead screwdriver or any other metal part so you don't damage the computer and the cover in general. And finally, I'm trying to get it off, but as you guys can see, I'm a little struggling here. And oh, it's finally off. And that's me over here. Don't mind my head, but I'm trying to examine the stuff here. I'm trying to compare the sizes of the screwdriver because, by the way, in the box of the new batteries, you get two screwdrivers with two different sizes. One is blue, which is the one that I'm holding right now for the screws that are outside for the shell, and another one that is a little more purplish. That's for the tiny screwdrivers that we're gonna get off. You guys are gonna know what I'm talking about in this video. So here, as you guys can see, I'm trying to take off the ribbon, the main ribbon for the battery, but it's plugged in with a little tiny lever thing that I have to take off so I can take off that main ribbon for the battery. I'm trying to pry it off with a CVS card, but that fails eventually, so I'm just gonna keep trying and we'll see where we go. So I didn't give up on that ribbon. I decided to get the other ribbon that is next to it that is being held by two tiny screwdrivers. I tried to get that off and then get back to the difficult ribbon that I couldn't get off in the first place. So I'm just gonna twist it a little bit and take that plate off. And a very important tip for you guys is to always keep your screws organized and in order, because in this computer, unfortunately, every single screwdriver has a different size and a different way to get it off, so always make sure to keep them in order. Oh god, finally I took this ribbon off. What a pain. So as you guys can see right here, I'm trying to examine, trying to see if I did anything wrong. By the way, this is my first ever fix. I've never fixed any phone, any laptop, any computer ever. So this is my first experience fixing any tech product. So if you loved it, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. If you want to support me, it's for free. And I really enjoy doing these videos for you guys. So please show all your support and all of your love in the comment section below. And here I go with my first mistake. This ribbon that I'm holding right now and I'm trying to peel off, this ribbon has nothing to do with the battery. I don't know what I was thinking of. Maybe I was a little curious. I wanted to know what does this do and what does that do. But if you guys are gonna do this yourselves, do not, reach for that. It has nothing to do with the battery. This is a keyboard and a touchpad ribbon. And because of that mistake, I've lost my keyboard on my MacBook. I'm gonna show it to you guys later in the video, but if you're ever gonna do any repair or any repair of any sort, whether it's battery, whether it's touchpad replacement, anything, you have to stick with the stuff that you're doing. Don't play around with the other ribbons, don't play around with the other stuff in your laptop, just stick to that repair. Because as you guys can see, if you play around too much, you don't gain much. And it's something that I had to go through the hard way, and I'm telling you guys to always pay attention to the thing that you're doing and don't play around much, basically. And here I'm taking off the speakers because in order to access the battery in this laptop, you have to take the speakers off. It's just the Apple way to do things. So I'm taking off the speakers. And here I go with these pink pliers that I stole from my sister. Uh, I'm trying to take off the speaker ribbon from the motherboard so I can take the whole speaker out. As you can hear, it clicks. And we have got the right speaker off successfully. If everything goes right, because as you guys can see, trying to take it off, struggling a little bit. So I gotta find a way to do it. And that is my second mistake. I used 100% concentrated acetone to loosen up the pull tabs. You remember the magical pull tabs that we have to take off? And I used a bunch of it, and that was a mistake because this is concentrated acetone. Whenever you want to work with tech in general, use isopropyl alcohol. You don't use concentrated alcohol or acetone or any of that. It has to be diluted in order for you to use it on electronics. And you guys will see the speaker is burnt. It's functional, it works, but the plastic itself got burnt. And it just shows you how strong concentrated acetone is. So if you want to loosen up the pull tabs or anything, if you want to use anything to loosen up any kind of adhesive, use isopropyl alcohol. That's really important. And use small portions of it. Currently, we're in the process of removing the left speaker. It's pretty much the same process. Roughly the only difference is that middle bracket that is being held on by 3 screws that I'm taking off right now. And that's the only difference between the left speaker and the right speaker. So we're just going to take it off and see where that takes us. Oh boy, that's too much acetone. As I said before, do not use 100% concentrated acetone. As you can see, the black is gonna fade from the speaker on the left because it's being burnt by the acidity of the acetone. You will see, yep, you can see it right now. And now the color is gonna be permanently gray. Is going to be permanently gray. So thankfully the speaker did not get damaged, the driver itself, but cosmetically it's burnt because of how strong that acetone is. So here I actually thought that the battery is separate or being glued in or any sort of that to that metal bracket, but it's actually not. It's a part of that metal bracket. That's what I've realized. But in the video, I was trying to figure out how to take the battery off, and I'm using more acetone, but just because I thought it was glued in, but it actually wasn't. And all you gotta do is just remove the two screws in the metal bracket, and the battery should come off. Oh god. And ladies and gentlemen, that's where I did my third mistake, was that the clicking sound that you heard was the main ribbon for the keyboards. That ribbon that you guys can see is the ribbon for the keyboard, the keypad. And I didn't unplug that when I was jiggling out the battery. So it resulted in me pulling out the battery. I believe I ripped off the other end that goes into the motherboard on that ribbon. So that's why my keyboard is not functional anymore, because I was pulling the battery in with a good amount of force, and the ribbon for the keyboard was still connected. I believe that's the reason why I dysfunctioned my keyboard, basically. And just don't do like what you're seeing in this video when it comes to the keyboard part. You gotta be gentle with electronics in general, and you gotta always look, just always look before you use any amount of force. Rethink what you're doing, if it's right or wrong. Use any reference, Google something, maybe watch a YouTube video or something, but just don't be gentle with electronics in general. Now I'm just trying to clean off the footprints of these magic pull tabs. I'm trying to clean them off a little bit, so when I place the new battery, it will be placed in a clean, neat surface. So I'm just trying to clean them off a little bit as much as I could, and install the new battery. And now these are the new adhesive pull tabs that we're gonna install right now. They come in the package with the battery. What I like so much about this specific brand is that they provide you with everything. They provide you with the new adhesive. They provide you with the two different screwdrivers, types of screwdrivers. They provide you with everything for the repair, so you wouldn't need anything. As you can see, just install them like so. I know I didn't clean much, but because I was in a hurry, I wanted to go to some place after the video, so I was in a hurry. If you can clean them more than that, that would be perfectly fine, but I was just trying to get it over with. So just install them like so. So the red side would face you, the red side would face you, and it's a pretty easy process, honestly, installing the new pull tabs. Just try and align them properly and it should be good. And now comes the fun part, installing the new battery. Remember, before you install the new battery, you gotta remove that red sticker on the pull tabs. You gotta remove it so it would be sticky on both sides. But remove it gently, and because you don't wanna rip the tiny bits of the adhesive off, like what I did in here. I did a lot of mistakes in this repair, but remember it was my first repair, and if I make a mistake, then you can learn from it, and we can like kind of learn and kind of know how to do any repair properly. So just take off the adhesive sticker, the red sticker, and install the new battery, and it should be good. Now at this point, you just gotta make sure that you install the battery properly. Everything is in its place, and this is the easy part of the process. We're just gonna undo what we did and just get the screws back on. Remember that assuming you already kept your screws organized, because every screw has a different size and a different tip, and so we're just gonna undo the whole process and click the ribbons back. Don't forget to put adhesive on the speakers when you put them back on, because when you remove them, they had adhesive previously. So just add one more sheet of adhesive on them when you put the whole thing back together, and just complete the process. Now, before I put the final screws back in, I wanted to make sure that everything works. Obviously, I didn't know that my keyboard is going to be dysfunctional, or my keyboard is not going to work after this repair. But I just wanted to make sure that everything works, and I think it's a great idea before you put your final screws in. Just make sure that the whole thing functions properly. As you can see, when I open my laptop and I hit that power button, the display lights up, which is pretty cool. Like, finally, the battery problem was a huge issue for me, honestly. And I'm just waiting and waiting and waiting. and now I place it on the table. And then, oh, I realized that I have to plug it in first because it's a new battery. I have to plug it in first in order to power it up. And here we are, it powers on. You can hear the greeting sound for MacBooks, and that's a good sign. It's just loading right now. And if you see, the option button on the left side and the command button on the right side of the keyboard are the only ones that are backlit. The rest of the keyboard is not backlit anymore because of the mistake that I did. Now I'm trying to type something on the keyboard, and oh, it doesn't work. None of the buttons work. I just screwed up my keyboard. I hope you guys have learned from the mistake that I did, and just do things more carefully. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the end of our tutorial. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. Also subscribe so you don't miss any new updates on the channel. Hit that bell icon and leave all of your thoughts in the comment section below. And check the description below to buy the batteries if you want to replace them yourself and not do these huge mistakes that I did in the video. I hope you learned something or two from that video. And it's always a good idea to keep learning. Just keep learning new stuff, keep trying. This is definitely not gonna be my last repair. I'm gonna keep repairing over and over again so I can learn. And I hope you guys do the same thing. As always, I'll see you in the next video.